Hey, so you guys asked me to make a couple of videos today, and I've got them written down, and I'm trying to go through them as fast as I can. One of them that you asked for was how to do a monogram letter in Design Space. So we're going to do that. First off, you need to add your text. So you go to your add text over here. And I'm trying to just pick up a letter that's going to look real good centered, because a K always looks off centered, which is my last name. So I'm just going to throw a W in there, and we're going to just use a real basic font, because you can pick whatever font you want when you're doing yours, and in Design Space you can import your own. But I want just a real simple font for this. Okay, and I picked that one because it's simple and you're going to be easy to see it. Now I want, why does this always come up? I want my letter to, I can unlock this right here, by the way, or up here and unlock it. It will do the same things. But I want it, I'm going to unlock it, because I want my letter 8 inches wide, and I don't know how tall I want it yet. By unlocking it, I can change the height manually. So I'm going to put it all the way, well, no, I'm not going to put it all the way over there, but so I have my W. It will not let me move it, but that's my W. And I want it only 8, not 8.65. Make it 7. Be good with 7. Okay. I don't know why it's not letting me move it on my map. That's crazy. Because I want to move it. So maybe if we lock it, it will let me move it again. Can I move it? I can move it side by side. That's weird. I was just doing this a second ago and it worked. Well, we can position it down here. We can move it up and side by side by using these buttons. So I can move it even though it's not letting me move it this way. Oh, let me move it down, just not up. See, that's so weird. I wonder if this is a glitch. Anyway, the other thing we're going to need, we will move on, is we're going to need one of these. This, I just searched for line. I typed in line up here. And I got this. So we can insert that. And then I'm also going to want a rectangle. I could have used that line, actually, because I can resize it. But I want just a simple, basic rectangle. This will work. Now, insert those. And I'm going to, wow, this is really bothering me. I want my W, I know where I'm going to want it, because, you know what, yeah, I don't want this at 8, I want it at 6. So we're going to just move it down to 6. Now I could do this manually, like I am, or I can do it here. But, or I can actually just type in 6, and then we have 6. I do want this a little bit bigger and width down, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, so we're going to lock that back, but I want it, I just totally went blank on what I'm doing. I want it at 5, sorry, and this will make sense in a second. Okay. So if that's at 5, this moved my height to 4.6. I want my positioning. See how I can move it here with my positioning? I want this to be at 1.5. And it's specifically to 1.5 because I'm going to move this one out of the way. And I'm going to take this. And I want this little guy to be, I want to unlock him. I want him to be, we're going to go 2 inches width by 8 inches height, okay? And the 8 inches is going to be important. And I want to rotate this 90 degrees. So I just go over here to this and I type in 90 and it's going to turn it sideways. I think my 2 inches might be a little big. We'll see. But if I move this and I put it so that it's positioned and it's at 8 inches, because it's 8 inches long, remember that. Now remember our W, we did that at 5 inches, and now where we're going to slice this is at 8 inches. That gives us a 3-inch window of difference. That's why I have my W positioned at 1.5 inches, so it will be centered with a 1.5 inches on each side. Okay, does that make sense? So, to slice this and cut out that middle, you're going to select your W and select your rectangle, and you can hold the shift key because I already have the W. So you're going to hold the shift key and click on, the control key. So do that again. We're going to click on the W and we're going to click on the control key, and now I get them both, right? So now I get the slice option up here. Remember, anything you're going to slice has to be single layer. It cannot have a shadow behind it. Okay? So if I hit slice now, it tells you it's slicing and it turns it the same color. And if I move this out of the way, ooh, moved the wrong thing. So let's hit undo and put that back. I want to move this one out of the way. Okay? I think my thing was too wide, but I can delete these. And now I come back to this little guy. And I want him, okay, our width. We can put him at 1/4 inch. And I want him to be 8 inches tall. Okay. And I want to rotate 90 degrees. And I want to duplicate because I need 2. And I want to sync colors. I want them to be the same color as my W. So I'm just going to slide this down, and now they're the same color. So if I go back to one of my bars and go to the edit, I want its position. So if you can move your position here, see it's going left and right. I want its position to be at 8 inches because I want it to start at 0 and be at 8 inches. But I also want to move it up to where, oh, and I just moved my W. Didn't want to do that, so undo. Undo. I want this. I want to move this one up, up, up. Okay. So it's the bottom of my W. You can barely be touching it now. Put this back to 8 because I moved it. So now this one, I want to put it down here towards the bottom. And I don't really know why it's doing that. I don't know why it's taking that away. But we know that it's there. And I want this to be at 8 inches. So it's going to slide it over. So there we have our monogram, and our W does continue down. There we go. So we have this, and then inside here we can add some text. We could say the last name was Wilson. Okay, we can stick Wilson in here. And again, it's not letting me move things. It has to be them working on the system, but we can work around it. So we know our width of this whole thing is 8 inches. So we could put this at, we could say we want it to be 6 inches. Okay. And we know that we cut a 2-inch thing here, but now we have our little bars. So maybe put this at 1.5 inches and see if it fits in there. And walk it back. And, oh, it's letting me move it now. Look at there. And because our width is 6 and our letters are, there we go, and our letters are at, our letters are at 6 and our overall is 8. We want 1 inch on each side. So just put this at the 1, and that will be centered. Okay, that's how you do a split monogram. So now when you cut it, oops, we gotta move it down a smidge. We're touching right there. So when you cut it, it's gonna cut 2 separate things. If you're gonna do it on vinyl though, and you want it to cut identical to this, just hit select all, and then go back to your layers tab and say attach. And now when you go to your cutting mat, it's going to put it on your mat identical to that. Okay? So all you got to do for split monogram. You can use fancy fonts. Your hardest part will just be centering, so make sure you kind of do what I did. I took my total width, which was 8, measured my letters at 6, and then I knew I had a 2-inch window and I needed 1 inch on each side. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can reach me on Facebook. I'm the Cricut Craft Room group, or the Cricut Explore and Design Space group. And you have to use the little and symbol, not spell out the word and, to find us. And hope you have a good night.